You think you own the truck sitting in your driveway right now? You sign the paperwork, you're paying the insurance, you hand over $1,000 a month to the bank. But starting in 2026, your manufacturer and the federal government are going to have the final say over whether or not your engine starts. Buried inside the 2021 infrastructure bill is a single section, Section 2220, that forces automakers to install passive monitoring technology in every new vehicle. Interior cameras watching your eyes, sensors reading your steering inputs, an algorithm deciding if you're allowed to move. And if the system says no, you're not going anywhere. Now, before you think this is some internet rabbit hole, the FTC just had to step in and legally ban General Motors from secretly selling your driving data to insurance companies. Through their OnStar system, GM was monitoring drivers sometimes every 3 seconds and selling that information to raise your rates. You were paying them 80 grand for a truck, and they were using it to spy on you. So when mechanics and privacy advocates hear about passive biometric sensors being mandated in every new vehicle, they're not panicking about a conspiracy theory. They're connecting dots they've already lived through. And the smart ones, they've already made their move. There are exactly 3 trucks that are physically, mechanically, structurally immune to everything this mandate requires. Not because of a software workaround, not because of a forum loophole, because the laws of physics cannot be overridden by federal regulation. Stay with me, because I'm also going to tell you the exact years to buy and the one mistake that will cost you everything if you get it wrong. Here's the one thing the headlines never mention about this law. Your grandfather bought his truck, drove it for 30 years. Nobody tracked him, nobody sold his routes to an insurance algorithm. That era of ownership didn't end by accident. It ended by design. The mandate applies only to new vehicles manufactured after the standard takes effect. There was no requirement to retrofit anything already on the road. Older trucks are permanently outside the scope of this legislation. But not all old trucks are equal. The trucks that give you true immunity aren't just old. They're built in a way where the technology this mandate requires cannot physically function. There's nothing to connect to. There's nothing to override. There's no computer that can be told what to do by a signal it was never built to receive. 3 trucks meet that standard. Let's get into it. Number 3. And this one has a reputation that travels. The 1981 to 1990 Toyota pickup with the carbureted 22R 4-cylinder. You've seen these trucks in every terrain imaginable. American deserts, mountain trails, and yes, conflict zones on 3 continents. But their real value in 2026 isn't their toughness, it's their complete and total disconnection from anything digital. Now, I need to be very specific here because this is where buyers get burned. 22R, not 22RE. The E stands for electronic fuel injection. Starting in 1983, Toyota offered the 22RE as an option, and by 1985, it was common across the lineup. The 22RE has a mass airflow sensor, an ECU, and an electric fuel pump controlled by a circuit opening relay. Reliable engine, but it has electronic architecture. It has things that can be interfaced with. The 22R, no E, uses a carburetor, no ECU, no electric fuel pump, a mechanical fuel pump bolted directly to the block. Driven by a dedicated lobe on the camshaft, the carburetor operates purely on the Venturi effect. Moving air creates a pressure drop that physically pulls fuel out of the float bowl. Fuel and air mix based on the geometry of the throat, not because a processor calculated an optimal ratio, because of physics. There is no signal to intercept here. There is no module to access. The ignition runs off a mechanical distributor with physical advance. Every single function in this powertrain is governed by metal, vacuum, and airflow, not code. Is it going to win anything off the line? No. You'll get passed by minivans. But when someone tries to push a passive monitoring mandate into this engine, they'll find there's genuinely nothing to attach it to. 1981 to 1990, 22R with the carburetor. That's your window. Number 2, and this is the one that surprises people. The 9th generation Ford F-150, 1987 to 1996, with the 4.9-liter 300 cubic inch inline-6 engine. Now, Ford's current lineup is a different conversation entirely. Over 150 safety alerts in a single year. Twin-turbo V6s that are enormously expensive to repair out of warranty. The new stuff is a different world. But back in the OBS era, the old body style days, Ford accidentally built something they could never replicate now. The 300 inline-6 is widely considered indestructible, and the reason comes down to one design decision. The camshaft is driven by forged steel timing gears. Direct, mechanical, essentially actually permanent. It's a cast iron block built to the tolerances of industrial equipment. Ford put this same engine in dump trucks, wood chippers, and stationary generators. It doesn't care about mileage, it just runs. But here's the architectural reason it belongs on this list. These trucks use Ford's EEC4 engine management, an OBD1 system so primitive that you diagnose it by bridging a connector under the hood with a jumper wire and counting flashes on your check engine light. It controls basic injector pulse. That's it. More importantly, there is no telematics control unit in these trucks. No cellular modem, no SIM card, no antenna for receiving external signals. The connected vehicle era began with OnStar in 1996 GM vehicles. Ford didn't integrate anything like that for years after. The 1992 to 1996 F-150 predates all of it completely. The engine computer is a closed system. It takes inputs from sensors on the engine, it sends outputs to the injectors. It has no ears for the outside world. If a 5G signal or a remote shutdown command tried to reach this truck, it would pass right through it because there is physically no hardware inside to receive it. You cannot disable what cannot hear you. Clean, rust-free examples are still out there under $10,000. You own the metal, you own the engine, you own your privacy. Number 1. The one mechanics talk about the way people talk about classic muscle cars. The 1994 to early 1998 Dodge Ram with the 5.9-liter 12-valve Cummins and the Bosch P7100 injection pump. Right now, guys are dropping $80,000 to $90,000 on new Ram 2500s, and for that money, they get DEF fluid requirements, DPF filters that choke themselves to death, digital dashboards that black out, and $3,000 repair bills the moment the emission system decides it's done. Meanwhile, the people who actually understand diesel mechanics are paying premium prices for 30-year-old trucks. The reason is one word: the P-pump. The Bosch P7100 inline injection pump is a closed mechanical system with 6 plungers driven directly off the camshaft. No electrical signal tells it when to fire. No computer calculates injection timing. Inside the pump, a mechanical flyweight governor responds to engine speed by physically moving a fuel rack, and that rack determines exactly how much fuel reaches each cylinder based on geometry alone. There is no code running this. There is no module to access. It is metal doing math. Once this engine is running, it needs zero electricity to keep going. You could pull the battery, pull the alternator, throw them both in a ditch. The engine will not notice. It will run until it's out of fuel. Now, here's the year that will cost you money if you get it wrong. In mid-1998, Dodge moved to the 24-valve ISB Cummins. Better airflow, more power on the spec sheet. But it came with the Bosch VP44, an electronically controlled injection pump, computer modules, electronic solenoids, and a truck that can be interfaced with from outside. 1994 to early 1998, P7100. That is the only window. And one more thing, the only electrical component the 12-valve actually needs to start is the fuel shutoff solenoid. That single component can be replaced with a mechanical cable kit that runs into the cab. Pull to open fuel, push to shut off. At that point, you have a truck with zero electrical requirements to operate. Not one wire between you and forward motion.